The client had been in business for over 3 years. They had been running paid advertising the entire time. And despite all of that spending, their customers told them they felt like they didn't even know the business existed. Today I'm going to walk you through exactly what we found, what we changed, and what happened to their sales. No fluff, no vanity metrics, just the real story. Here's the setup. This local business had been working with another marketing agency for the past year. They were spending real money on advertising every single month. Google pay-per-click, digital display ads, YouTube video campaigns, the full digital stack. But something wasn't adding up. Their sales weren't reflecting that level of investment, and their customers in the local market didn't seem to know they existed. That's when they came to us. The first thing we did was not pitch them anything. We audited everything. 12 months of their campaign data and 12 months of their actual customer sales records. And then we did something most agencies never do. We mapped their customer base visually by county to see where their real business was actually coming from. Here's what jumped out immediately. When we mapped their customers geographically, the business was almost entirely concentrated in just 3 to 4 counties. And when we looked at their customer profile, their buyers skewed significantly older. That alone told us something important, but it got even more interesting when we put that side by side with where their ad dollars were actually going. Their entire advertising budget was going into Google-based campaigns, pay-per-click, display, and YouTube, all digital, all Google. The problem is that their actual customers, older buyers concentrated in a handful of counties, were not the audience those campaigns were built to reach. YouTube skews younger. Broad digital display doesn't discriminate by age or geography the way you'd want for a hyper-local business. And Bing and Yahoo, which over-index heavily with older search users, weren't in the mix at all. The budget was being spent, it just wasn't being spent where their customers were. So here's what we did. We reduced what was being spent on Google pay-per-click and adjusted the budget to incorporate Bing and Yahoo in the search mix. Now they had presence across all 3 major search engines instead of 1. And the 2 we added happened to be exactly where their older customer demographic searches. Then we layered in broadcast television. But we didn't just pick a station and hope for the best. We did our own independent research, identified which stations showed the strongest performance in those 3 to 4 key counties with that demographic, and then approached only the stations our research had already pointed to. The budget didn't increase by a single dollar. We just moved money from what wasn't working to what had a much higher probability of reaching their actual customers. Month 1 after the changes, sales were up 63% over the prior year. Month 2, they were up 100% over the prior year. They doubled their sales counts. Same sales territory, same budget, different strategy. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Most local businesses don't have a spending problem. They have a targeting problem. The client wasn't underspending. They were spending in the wrong places for their actual customer. The fix wasn't to spend more. It was to understand who was actually buying, where those people were, and how they consumed media. Once you know that, the strategy writes itself. If your advertising isn't producing results, before you increase your budget, find out if the budget you already have is going where your customers actually are. If this is the kind of thinking your business needs, the link below is the best place to start. And if you found this useful, subscribe, because this is exactly the type of content I'm going to keep putting out.